Singer, dancer, actress, director. Teyana Taylor is the definition of a multi-hyphenate powerhouse. But what does life look like now for this creative force of nature? In this video, we take you behind the scenes of Teyana Taylor's bold and visionary lifestyle, from her jaw-dropping modern home and edgy fashion statements, to her luxury car collection and groundbreaking artistic projects. Every detail reflects her fierce independence and unapologetic authenticity. We'll dive into her evolution in the entertainment industry, her entrepreneurial ventures, and her estimated net worth in 2025. This isn't just a story about fame, it's about fearless creativity, cultural impact, and owning your power on every stage. Born on December 10, 1990, in Harlem, New York, Teyana Michelle Jacqueline Schumpert, née Taylor, was the kind of child you couldn't ignore. She didn't just walk into a room, she entered with a rhythm. Raised in the vibrant, unapologetically bold culture of uptown Manhattan, her earliest playground was the concrete heartbeat of the city itself. Teyana's childhood wasn't defined by luxury, it was powered by love and grit. She was raised by her mother, Nikki Taylor, a fierce and focused single mom who took on the dual role of parent and manager with equal parts precision and passion. Nikki recognized her daughter's fire early on and made it her mission to protect and sharpen it. The two would become a mother-daughter team so bonded and effective, they'd later rival any formal talent agency. From as early as age 6, Teyana was entering and winning local talent shows. By age 9, she was choreographing her own routines, her sense of musicality already sharper than most professionals. With influences ranging from Janet Jackson to Harlem's own Apollo stage legends, she fused hip-hop swagger with the precision of a perfectionist. Their home wasn't fancy, but it was alive with ambition. Posters of music icons shared wall space with vision boards and magazine tear-outs. Nikki exposed her to a range of sounds and styles, Afrobeats, gospel, Motown, and enrolled her in dance classes that were often more audition than education. Teyana didn't just absorb culture, she mirrored it, remixed it, and served it back with an unmistakable Harlem edge. This was the soil that nourished her talent. Not a silver spoon, but a microphone in one hand and determination in the other. Harlem wasn't just her neighborhood, it was her foundation, her first audience, and her early stage. Before the music videos, before the red carpets, before the world knew her name, Harlem did. And it never forgot. Teyana Taylor didn't follow the traditional classroom blueprint. While her peers studied textbooks and recited lessons, Teyana was already mastering movement, melody, and charisma. Her education was not limited to desks and chalkboards. It was lived experience, nurtured in rehearsal rooms, recording booths, and backstage corners. Though she attended public school in Harlem during her early years, it quickly became clear that her energy belonged elsewhere. Her mother, Nikki, made the decision to prioritize Teyana's creative development. Music studios became her lecture halls, and dance rehearsals were her gym class. It wasn't rebellion, it was redirection, a different kind of schooling, designed to serve her rare talent. Teyana's early influences were a powerful blend of old-school brilliance and new generation audacity. Icons like Lauryn Hill taught her the value of lyrical substance. Janet Jackson showed her how to command a stage without saying a word. Michael Jackson became a blueprint for precision, showmanship, and evolution. These were her idols, but also her silent mentors. She would study their performances obsessively, rewinding choreography, breaking down costume choices, and mimicking vocal inflections until they became muscle memory. At home, her mother filled the atmosphere with sound and ambition. Classic R&B mingled with hip-hop and Afro-Caribbean rhythms. Nikki made sure her daughter was exposed to music with roots, to legends who didn't just entertain, but moved people. Teyana learned that being an artist was about more than just being seen or heard. It was about connection, intention, and timelessness. Her hunger for expression soon grew too big for the neighborhood. In 2007, the world got its first real glimpse of the Harlem prodigy when she appeared on MTV's My Super Sweet 16. While most celebrated the extravagance of their parties, Teyana turned hers into a stage. She rolled in on a tricked-out BMX bike, rocking a retro jacket and an attitude that screamed originality. That moment introduced her to a national audience, not as a reality star, but as someone to watch. It was clear then, as it is now, Teyana Taylor was never meant to blend in. She was designed to lead. Before she had a debut album or headline tour, Teyana Taylor was already on the radar of some of the industry's most powerful tastemakers. In 2007, her appearance on My Super Sweet 16 wasn't just reality TV drama. It was a soft launch into stardom. With her bold fashion sense, fierce energy, and unmistakable charisma, she stood out from the cookie-cutter images that dominated the era. And people noticed, especially one person in particular. Pharrell Williams, the sonic architect behind countless early 2000 hits, saw something electric in her. At just 15 years old, Teyana signed with Pharrell's Star Trek Entertainment, a label known for its edgy innovation and trend-setting roster. It was a major milestone, but not without its frustrations. Her first official single, Google Me, dropped in 2008. While it caught attention and showcased her brash confidence, it didn't hit the charts with the force she had hoped. The industry, she would later explain, didn't quite know what to do with a girl like her. Equal parts street, art, and elegance. She wasn't easily packaged, and in a music business obsessed with categories, that made her a challenge. Still, Teyana kept creating. She released mixtapes, made guest appearances, and stayed in the studio, sharpening her voice and vision. Her style was evolving into something raw and emotionally magnetic, and behind the scenes, her choreography skills began opening doors, even as her music was still gaining traction. Then came the moment that would change everything. In 2016, Kanye West debuted the Fade music video at the MTV Video Music Awards. It was a jaw-dropping performance piece, drenched in sweat, power, and movement. Teyana Taylor was the sole star of the video, delivering a dance performance that felt like both a tribute to Janet Jackson and a declaration of her own arrival. Her body became a canvas of strength, her moves a language of liberation. It was instantly iconic, and it broke the internet. Overnight, she went from cult favorite to cultural phenomenon. Searches for her name spiked, fitness gurus cited her as inspiration, and fans demanded more of the woman who had just stolen the VMA spotlight without saying a single word. That wasn't just a music video, it was her breakthrough. And she did it without a verse or chorus, just with her body, her story, and her presence. After the viral explosion of Fade in 2016, Teyana Taylor was no longer just a name whispered among industry insiders. She had become a household force. What made the moment even more powerful was that she earned the spotlight without relying on controversy or gimmicks. It was pure talent, delivered with jaw-clenching precision and fearless artistry. From that moment on, the industry had no choice but to pay attention. Riding the momentum, Teyana continued collaborating with Kanye West and his label, Good Music. In 2018, her second studio album, KTSE, short for Keep That Same Energy, was released as part of Kanye's 5-album Wyoming Project series. The project was raw, emotional, and deeply personal. Tracks like Gonna Love Me and Issues Hold On revealed her soulful range and lyrical vulnerability. While fans and critics praised the project's honesty and her vocal growth, Teyana expressed frustration with how the rollout was handled. Songs were left unfinished, and changes she wanted didn't make the final cut. Still, the album marked a turning point. She was no longer chasing the industry. She was setting her own terms. Her live performances became sought-after experiences, marked by intense choreography, vocal strength, and an undeniable presence. Audiences knew they weren't just watching a singer. They were witnessing a born performer who had mastered every corner of the stage. At the same time, Teyana's artistic evolution expanded into acting. She earned acclaim for her roles in projects like Hit the Floor, Honey, Rise Up and Dance, and eventually Coming to America. But it was her 2023 role in 1001, a gripping indie drama where she played a struggling single mother in Harlem, that earned her widespread respect as a serious actress. Critics hailed the performance as her breakthrough in film, calling it a revelation and career-defining. Her fashion sense also became a signature part of her fame. Whether on the Met Gala red carpet or in candid streetwear moments, Teyana's style choices were bold, risk-taking, and authentically her. Designers began to see her not just as a muse, but as a creative collaborator. By 2025, Teyana Taylor was no longer defined by any single lane. She had risen. through music, film, fashion, and dance. Not because she fit into a mold, but because she broke everyone she encountered. Her fame wasn't accidental or overnight. It was a slow, intentional build, powered by vision, resilience, and a refusal to compromise. By the time she reached her early 30s, Teyana Taylor had cemented herself as a multidimensional powerhouse. Not just an entertainer, but an auteur. Not just a celebrity, but a creative force reshaping the conversation around what it means to be a modern Black woman in the arts. Every chapter of her career, whether celebrated or overlooked, was stitched with intention, and by 2025, the results were undeniable. Musically, KTSE became a cult classic, with tracks like Rose in Harlem standing as both an anthem and a personal manifesto. The stripped-down production paired with Teyana's unapologetic storytelling created a soundscape that resonated deeply with fans. Though it was her only full-length project under Good Music, the album aged gracefully and continued to grow in influence. It was a statement piece, imperfect, but unforgettable. Then came her third studio album, The Album, released in 2020. With a 23-track runtime and features from Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, Big Sean, and Missy Elliott, it was an expansive cinematic effort that highlighted every facet of her artistry. From sensual slow jams to socially conscious messages, Teyana laid everything bare. It debuted in the top 10 of the Billboard 200 and quickly became her most complete and celebrated work to date. But music was just one realm she dominated. Her transition into film was marked by a hunger for depth and narrative control. In 2023's 1001, she delivered a breakout performance that garnered awards buzz and widespread critical acclaim. Portraying a Harlem mother fighting to raise her son against a system rigged to separate them, Teyana didn't just act, she lived in the role. Many critics predicted the performance would open the floodgates to bigger, meatier acting opportunities. Simultaneously, she began making serious moves behind the camera. Founding the Aunties production company alongside her longtime partner, Coco Gilbert, Teyana took on the role of creative director and music video visionary. Under her guidance, the company directed and produced visuals for artists such as Lil Baby, Queen Naija, and Monica, each project showcasing her distinct visual style. Rich, cinematic, emotional, and precise. Award-wise, the recognition followed. She earned BET Awards for Best Director and Video of the Year, became a recurring nominee for NOAACP Image Awards, and was named one of Time magazine's 100 Most Influential People in Entertainment in 2024. These accolades weren't just career milestones, they were cultural affirmations. Even more impressive was the way she moved across industries. In fashion, she became a designer muse hybrid, collaborating with Pretty Little Thing on exclusive drops and appearing in high-profile campaigns for Reebok, MAC Cosmetics, and Burberry. In 2025, her capsule collection with an emerging Black-owned fashion label sold out in minutes. She was no longer chasing validation. She was curating a legacy. Each music video, each performance, each editorial shoot was carefully chosen to reflect her message: strength, sensuality, softness, and survival, all existing in the same woman. Teyana Taylor didn't ask for permission, she created the blueprint. While most artists struggle to branch beyond their core discipline, Teyana Taylor built her career on the very idea of creative reinvention. Her side projects weren't just distractions, they were extensions of her identity, each one reflecting a piece of the mosaic that makes her artistry so distinctive. One of her most prominent ventures has been in the world of fashion. With a style that has long turned heads on and off the red carpet, Teyana seamlessly evolved into a designer and trendsetter. Her collaboration with Pretty Little Thing in 2020 was a cultural moment, selling out almost instantly and featuring bold streetwear silhouettes mixed with high glam details. By 2025, her fashion ventures had grown more intentional and luxury-leaning. She co-launched a high-end urban wear line rooted in Harlem's aesthetic, but elevated with global appeal. Oversized denim, gender-neutral tailoring, and Afrocentric patterns woven into every look. She also found success in fitness. Capitalizing on the viral aftermath of her Fade performance, Teyana created Fade 2 Fit, a dance-centric workout brand that blended her choreography style with practical at-home routines. The platform quickly expanded to include an app, branded fitness gear, and live-streamed classes. Her goal wasn't just body sculpting, it was empowerment. Her message resonated, especially among women of color who saw in her an image of strength, fluidity, and authenticity rarely portrayed in mainstream fitness culture. Behind the scenes, her business acumen was just as sharp. She began investing in real estate, purchasing properties in Atlanta and Los Angeles. But these weren't just homes. They were projects. Teyana personally took on the design and renovation of each, combining Art Deco inspiration with contemporary minimalism. One of her Atlanta properties was transformed into a multifunctional creative space, part recording studio, part photography set, part wellness retreat. Perhaps most defining of her entrepreneurial path was the founding of the Aunties production company. As a creative director and filmmaker, Teyana wasn't interested in simply being in front of the camera. She wanted control behind it. The company focused on visual storytelling for Black artists and brands, producing music videos, short films, fashion campaigns, and commercial content. Teyana's directorial eye was praised for its emotion, composition, and homage to classic Black cinema. Her list of ventures only continued to expand. By 2025, she had launched a wellness platform centered on Black women's mental health, collaborated with luxury skincare brands, and announced plans for a memoir documentary hybrid, chronicling her journey through the entertainment industry. Teyana Taylor made it clear, she doesn't wait for opportunities, she builds them. Whether in fashion, fitness, production, or real estate, her ventures reflect one unshakable belief: creative control is not optional, it's essential. By 2025, Teyana Taylor's lifestyle is a vivid reflection of her artistic soul, bold, intentional, and unapologetically refined. She doesn't just live in spaces, she curates them, blending comfort with creativity, opulence with purpose. Each property she owns feels less like a home and more like a living gallery, one that tells the story of a woman who built her life from Harlem roots to Hollywood heights. Her primary residence is a sprawling $2.5 million estate located in the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia. Far from the chaos of Los Angeles, this home is her sanctuary. Quiet, private, and fully customized. From the moment you enter, it's clear the design wasn't outsourced. Teyana, a self-taught interior designer, personally oversaw the renovation, transforming the house into a modern masterpiece with Afrocentric elegance. The foyer opens into high-ceilinged rooms, flooded with natural light. Earth-toned palettes meet statement art pieces, many of which come from emerging Black artists she personally supports. Her music studio, nestled on the lower floor, is soundproofed with velvet-accented walls and equipped with top-of-the-line gear, doubling as a creative bunker for late-night inspiration. But the centerpiece of the home is her walk-in closet. It's less a wardrobe and more a fashion museum, floor-to-ceiling mirrors, color-coded racks, and glass display cases featuring rare sneakers, couture gowns, and archival designer pieces. There are entire sections dedicated to Balmain, Off-White, and vintage Tommy Hilfiger, nods to the icons and eras that shaped her style. The backyard is its own ecosystem. A Zen garden wraps around a sleek infinity pool, with Moroccan lanterns hanging over cushioned lounge spaces. Nearby, a custom-built fire pit and projection wall turn quiet nights into open-air cinema experiences. Her daughters, Junie and Rue, have their own miniature playhouse nearby, painted in soft pinks and whites, complete with chandeliers and a music corner of their own. Her Los Angeles property is more urban modern, a glass-heavy minimalist structure tucked into the hills. Designed for work rather than rest, it features a dance rehearsal studio, production editing suite, and a rooftop garden. It's here that she holds creative meetings, shoots visuals, and occasionally escapes for solo resets. Teyana's real estate portfolio isn't about quantity, it's about soul. Every home she owns serves a purpose: to nourish her family, inspire her art, or expand her business. And with each address, she continues to prove that luxury isn't just about marble countertops and high ceilings. It's about freedom, expression, and control over the space you occupy. She didn't just earn her lifestyle, she designed it, every inch at a time. Teyana Taylor's style doesn't stop at the closet or the camera lens. It rolls out onto the pavement. Her car collection, much like her career, is carefully curated, wildly individualistic, and deeply rooted in personal expression. Whether she's cruising through Atlanta with the windows down or pulling up to a film premiere in Los Angeles, Teyana doesn't just drive, she arrives. At the top of her collection sits the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, a luxury SUV that's become something of a red carpet on wheels. Matte black with custom red interior stitching, her Cullinan reflects her aesthetic perfectly. Street-tough elegance with a high fashion twist. The ceiling sparkles with Rolls-Royce's signature Starlight headliner, and the sound system is customized for the kind of bass-heavy tracks she loves to produce and perform. Parked next to it is her Mercedes-AMG G63, a G-Wagon that balances rugged design with glam upgrades. With bulletproof detailing and a full digital cockpit, it's a statement vehicle, one she uses when she's switching between meetings, fittings, and family errands. The license plate? A subtle nod to Harlem, a reminder that her origin is always riding shotgun. Then there's the Ferrari 488 Spider, one of the flashiest pieces in her collection. In cherry red with carbon fiber accents and racing seats, it's the car she pulls out when she wants to feel fire under her feet. It's fast, loud, and impossible to ignore, just like her breakout performance in Fade. Teyana also has a deep love for customization. Her Lamborghini Urus is wrapped in matte army green with blacked-out trim and tinted windows. Inside, custom red leather seats are stitched with the initials of her daughters, Junie and Rue, a touch that transforms high horsepower into high sentiment. But her garage tells more than a story of speed. Teyana is also a motorcycle enthusiast. She owns a Triumph Bonneville and a customized Harley-Davidson, each modified with minimalist design and luxury finishes. Riding is her form of therapy, a way to disconnect from the world and reconnect with herself. By 2025, rumors have circulated that she's in talks to acquire a Bugatti Chiron, a move that would add one of the rarest and most expensive cars in the world to her already elite fleet. While Teyana hasn't confirmed it publicly, close sources say the deal is in motion, and knowing her taste, it won't be a standard build. Her car collection is more than just high-end vehicles. It's a moving archive of her journey. From luxury sedans to sport coupes to custom bikes, each machine mirrors her evolution. Bold, precise, fearless, and in motion. In a life constantly shifting between music studios, film sets, and international runways, Teyana Taylor's travel routine in 2025 is less about luxury and more about control, efficiency, and personal peace. Private air travel isn't just a status symbol. It's a necessity for a woman managing multiple brands, creative teams, and, most importantly, a growing family. When Teyana boards a jet, it's not to escape, it's to expand. Her go-to charter is a sleek Gulfstream G550, often customized for long-haul trips between Atlanta, New York, and Paris. The interior matches her signature style: monochrome tones, matte gold hardware, plush leather seating, and ambient LED lighting that shifts with mood and time of day. Even at 40,000 feet, there's an unmistakable presence of her aesthetic: clean, powerful, and feminine without compromise. She travels with a tight circle: her daughters, a small creative team, and at times her mother, Nikki, who still serves as a mentor and advisor. Flights are rarely idle hours. Inside the jet, she reviews scripts, sketches choreography, or storyboards music videos for the aunties. The cabin doubles as a mobile workspace and a sanctuary, where creative ideas fly even higher than the aircraft. Her in-flight fashion is a masterclass in effortless cool. Often spotted in oversized Balenciaga hoodies, Rick Owens sneakers, and tinted shades, she brings a runway-ready presence to every tarmac. Her travel wardrobe is built for mobility, but never misses the chance to make a statement, whether it's a vintage denim-on-denim look or a tailored tracksuit with heels. Designer luggage follows closely behind, with monogrammed Louis Vuitton and off-white suitcases as part of her regular rotation. Each bag is packed with intention: hair care products for styling on the go, fitness gear for impromptu dance rehearsals, and mood boards for upcoming creative projects. Beyond the glamour, her travel style is centered on ritual. She carries essential oils, incense sticks, and affirmation cards to bring a sense of grounding wherever she lands. Even in the sky, she's rooted. By 2025, Teyana's jet-setting lifestyle has evolved into a mobile command center. She doesn't travel just to arrive somewhere. she travels to create, to plan, and to stay in motion. Just like everything else in her life, the way she moves is its own form of art. Teyana Taylor has never been one to stay silent when it counts. Her artistry is often praised for its boldness, but her voice, off stage and off camera, carries just as much weight. In a time when many public figures tiptoe around activism, Teyana speaks with clarity, empathy, and lived experience. Her political stance isn't defined by party lines. It's rooted in justice, motherhood, and Black empowerment. She's long been a vocal supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement, not only attending marches, but using her platform to amplify community voices. During the height of nationwide protests in 2020, she released visuals that doubled as political statements, most notably the video for "Still," a tribute to victims of police brutality. Rather than rely on news footage, she recreated moments of grief and resistance through stylized, emotionally piercing scenes. It was a visual protest, created with the precision of an activist artist. Teyana's advocacy also shines in her directorial work. Under the Aunties production company, she's been intentional about centering Black narratives, especially those of women and queer voices. She's directed projects for LGBTQ+ artists and brands, spoken openly about the need for inclusion behind the camera, and worked to hire diverse teams for every production. As a mother of 2 Black daughters, her political perspective is personal. She often speaks about the pressures of raising children in a world still battling systemic injustice. In interviews and on social media, she emphasizes the importance of cultural education, emotional intelligence, and pride in heritage. For Teyana, parenting is political, a daily act of resistance and renewal. She also advocates for mental health awareness, particularly in communities of color where stigma still lingers. After her own experiences with burnout and creative frustration, she became a quiet but steady supporter of therapy, self-care, and spiritual alignment. In 2024, she partnered with a nonprofit mental wellness initiative to provide free therapy sessions to Black teen girls in urban communities. Teyana Taylor's public stance is not performative. It's intentional, woven into the work she does and the way she lives. She doesn't see activism as a trend. For her, it's a responsibility. And in 2025, that responsibility continues to shape the way she shows up in art, business, and motherhood. At her core, Teyana Taylor is a seeker. Beyond the stages, studios, and screenplays, there's a woman deeply invested in self-discovery, spiritual grounding, and balance. In a culture that often rewards hustle over healing, Teyana's approach to wellness in 2025 feels revolutionary in its simplicity. Protect your peace, honor your body, and keep your spirit aligned. Her philosophy starts with faith. Raised with a strong sense of spirituality, Teyana often credits God and divine timing for her resilience. She's spoken in interviews about the importance of intuition and prayer, especially during periods of uncertainty in her career. For her, success isn't just measured by accolades or streams. It's about alignment. If a project doesn't sit right with her spirit, she walks away, regardless of the offer on the table. Wellness, to Teyana, is multidimensional. Physically, dance remains her foundation. Even when she's not on tour or preparing for a video shoot, she dedicates time to movement every day, whether through spontaneous living room choreography with her daughters or guided sessions in her in-home studio. Her body, toned and agile, isn't just for performance. It's an archive of emotion, discipline, and release. Nutrition plays a key role in her routine. Though she's not rigid about dieting, Teyana leans into plant-based meals, homemade juices, and holistic supplements. Her kitchen is often stocked with sea moss gel, ginger shots, and alkaline water. She cooks not just for fuel, but for bonding, often bringing her daughters into the process as a form of quality time and cultural teaching. Mentally, she's become an advocate for setting boundaries. After years of feeling pulled in a million directions, 2023 marked a shift. She began saying no more often, to draining collaborations, to overbooking, to anything that didn't serve her peace. Therapy became part of her regular routine, not just in crisis, but as maintenance. She encourages others, especially Black women, to seek support without shame. Teyana's worldview is rooted in duality, softness and strength, ambition and rest, art and stillness. Her days begin with affirmations and often end with meditation or journaling. She believes in energy cleansing, sage rituals, and the healing power of music, not just as a creator, but as a listener. In 2025, her philosophy is clear. The best version of herself isn't found on stage. It's cultivated in silence, in breath, in choosing herself every single day. For all her fame and visibility, Teyana Taylor's most sacred role remains the one furthest from the spotlight: mother, daughter, and soul nurturer. Her personal life, though often scrutinized by the media, has always been centered on one unshakable truth: family first. For years, the world knew Teyana as one half of a power couple with former NBA player Iman Shumpert. Their union brought forth not just red carpet appearances and reality TV moments, but two beautiful daughters, Junie and Rue. The family dynamic, showcased in clips from their reality show We Got Love, Teyana and Iman, revealed a household that thrived on playfulness, honesty, and deep emotional connection. But in 2023, Teyana and Iman announced their separation, a decision that came not with scandal, but with maturity. In her public statement, Teyana made it clear: while their romantic chapter had ended, their bond as co-parents and friends remained strong. There was no animosity, just evolution. It was a rare display of grace in a world that often expects messiness from celebrity breakups. Since then, her personal life has been marked by privacy and intentionality. While rumors in 2025 swirl about a possible relationship with a fellow creative, a director and visual artist whose name has yet to be confirmed, Teyana has kept her romantic life off the record. What she shares instead are moments of motherhood: Junie dressing up in her mother's vintage designer pieces, Rue giggling during impromptu dance sessions, bedtime affirmations whispered through pastel-lit nurseries. Her daughters aren't just part of her world, they're at the center of it. Teyana is known for her hands-on approach to parenting. She brings her children to rehearsals, fittings, and even set locations, exposing them early to creativity, discipline, and self-expression. Junie, already showing signs of being a star in her own right, has become a mini icon on social media, witty, stylish, and uncannily aware of the camera. At the core of this family unit is Teyana's mother, Nikki Taylor. Still her manager, protector, and confidant, Nikki's presence is a constant in both business and life. Their relationship has become a generational bridge, one that connects Harlem hustle to Hollywood strategy. The household is a blend of laughter, affirmations, and freedom. It's a space where there are no limits placed on identity, creativity, or voice. Teyana encourages expression, from Junie's bold opinions to Rue's budding rhythm. She's not raising followers, she's nurturing leaders. In a world obsessed with image, Teyana's private world is refreshingly real. Her family is her grounding force, the heartbeat behind the spotlight, the home beneath the empire. While Teyana Taylor's talents in music, film, fashion, and dance are well documented, there's an entire dimension to her brilliance that exists just below the surface: skills, passions, and opportunities that often fly under the radar, but reveal the depth of her artistry and spirit. One of her most remarkable but understated talents is interior design. Unlike many celebrities who outsource the look and feel of their homes, Teyana takes a hands-on approach. From layout planning to sourcing vintage furniture, to choosing the exact tone of marble or wood, she leads the process with the eye of a seasoned creative director. Her properties in Atlanta and Los Angeles double as design showpieces, often referenced in architecture and lifestyle publications for their cohesion and vision. She's even hinted at launching her own home decor brand in the future, one that merges Afro-modern aesthetics with functional luxury. Another lesser-known side of Teyana is her connection to the skateboarding and graffiti subcultures. Growing up in Harlem, she was deeply influenced by urban street culture, and as a teenager, she often spent hours at local skate parks or working on graffiti tags and sketchbooks. The rawness of street art, the rebellion, the storytelling, the layered symbolism, shaped her visual language long before she ever picked up a camera. Teyana is also an exceptional mimic and voice actress, something she showcased in private circles more than in public. She can seamlessly switch accents, impersonate famous figures, and has a natural command of vocal tone that extends far beyond singing. Friends and collaborators have joked that she could easily step into animation or voiceover work full-time if she wanted to. In terms of near-miss moments, One of the most surprising is her brush with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In 2022, she was reportedly shortlisted for a major superhero role. The part was physically demanding, emotionally complex, and would have marked her biggest acting role yet. But in a rare move, Teyana turned it down. Not because she wasn't interested, but because the timing clashed with the launch of a major directing project through the Antes. Her decision was a reminder that she doesn't chase spotlight, she follows purpose. Whether designing a room, tagging a wall, or slipping into a character's voice, Teyana's talents are multi-dimensional. She's not confined by labels. If anything, she breaks them apart, remixes them, and turns them into something entirely her own. Teyana Taylor's journey has been anything but linear. Beneath the glamour, the applause, and the viral moments lies a road marked by creative frustration, personal sacrifice, and tough public transitions. But in typical Teyana fashion, she's turned every setback into an opportunity, and every controversy into a classroom. One of the earliest frustrations in her career came from her time with major record labels. After signing with Pharrell's Star Trek at a young age, she found herself shelved for years, with her debut album delayed and limited support for her singles. Eventually parting ways with Star Trek, she joined Kanye West's Good Music, only to face a similar struggle. Despite the critical acclaim of her KTSE album in 2018, she later revealed that she had no control over its final mix or rollout. Songs were altered without her approval. Tracks she wanted included were left off. In late 2020, she announced, through a raw and emotional Instagram post, that she would be stepping away from music. The post came not from drama, but from exhaustion. She expressed feeling underappreciated by the industry she had given her life to. While many took the announcement as a retirement, she clarified later that she wasn't quitting art, just walking away from spaces that refused to value her. It wasn't defeat, it was a boundary. In her personal life, the biggest shift came with her 2023 separation from Iman Shumpert. The two had been seen as one of the industry's most stylish and seemingly unbreakable couples, often celebrated for their chemistry and shared creative energy. When news of the split broke, fans speculated and tabloids churned. But Teyana handled the situation with remarkable grace. Her public statement focused not on blame, but on growth. She emphasized mutual respect, co-parenting, and the reality that love can evolve into something new. Teyana's refusal to engage in public drama became a lesson in itself. In a time when celebrities often air grievances on social media, she kept her tone measured and mature, choosing privacy over spectacle. Behind the scenes, she quietly transitioned into a new era, leaning deeper into directing, acting, and self-preservation. Other challenges included health scares, burnout from overworking, and navigating an industry that often tried to define her before she could define herself. She's spoken candidly about these moments, crediting therapy, her children, and creative autonomy as her lifelines. Through it all, Teyana never lost her core identity. If anything, her setbacks became mirrors, reflecting what she would no longer tolerate and who she was becoming. And by 2025, she stands not as someone who avoided pain, but as someone who walked through it and came out more powerful than ever. Teyana Taylor's legacy is not one that can be confined to a single medium, generation, or movement. By 2025, she has emerged as more than a performer. She's become a cultural architect. Her story, woven from struggle and self-determination, has left a lasting imprint on the entertainment industry and the broader creative world. Her legacy begins with representation. Teyana redefined what it meant to be a Black woman in the public eye. Unapologetically strong, sensual, stylish, and spiritual all at once. She shattered the one-dimensional molds often forced upon Black female artists and replaced them with a fully human narrative, soft yet fierce, maternal yet ambitious, vulnerable yet in control. In music, she will be remembered not for how many radio hits she charted, but for the soul she poured into every verse, every harmony, every visual. Albums like KTSE and The Album created a sonic diary of love, motherhood, longing, and power. Her refusal to conform to industry formulas gave voice to those who have long been ignored by the mainstream. As a dancer and choreographer, Teyana changed the game. Her performance in Kanye West's Fade video is now considered one of the most iconic VMA moments of the 2010s, a body of motion that told an entire story without a single lyric. Her choreography inspired fitness movements, dance schools, and an entire generation of creatives who understood that movement can be revolutionary. Behind the camera, she broke even more ground. As a director and executive producer, she opened doors that were long closed to Black women. Her company, the Aunties, didn't just produce visuals, it cultivated culture. From indie music videos to high-budget campaigns, her eye shaped the aesthetic of a new generation of Black art. Her influence in fashion has also become legacy-defining. She blended streetwear and couture with a kind of fluidity that set trends instead of following them. Young designers cite her as a muse. Major brands compete for her approval. Her style isn't about flash, it's about freedom. And then there's her impact as a mother. Teyana's legacy is felt through her daughters, whom she's raising to be fearless, creative, and grounded. Through Junie and Rue, her philosophies, beliefs, and artistry will continue to ripple outward for decades to come. Culturally, she's more than a name, she's a movement. A reminder that you can build your own table, write your own role, direct your own story. She's part of a growing pantheon of women in entertainment who didn't wait for recognition. They demanded it, and then used it to uplift others. Teyana Taylor's legacy won't just live on in awards or playlists. It lives in every girl from Harlem who dances in her bedroom mirror, in every young artist who refuses to be boxed in every creative who believes that being different isn't a liability. It's the point. Teyana Taylor's story isn't just a highlight reel. It's a blueprint. In an industry that tried to mold her into a product, she insisted on being a person, and not just any person, but one who could sing, dance, direct, design, mother, and lead, all on her own terms. In 2025, she stands not only as an artist, but as a visionary. She has walked away from systems that didn't value her, only to build new ones where she calls the shots. She's become a North Star for creators who dream beyond the frame, who refuse to be simplified, who carry Harlem in their soul and vision in their stride. Teyana isn't chasing fame, she's building legacy. From designing the perfect living room to choreographing an iconic music video to raising daughters who speak truth with grace, every choice she makes is a reflection of purpose. She doesn't just move culture, she mothers it, molds it, and multiplies it. What's next for Teyana Taylor? There are whispers of a memoir documentary hybrid, continued expansion into film direction, and the quiet development of her own lifestyle brand. But if there's one thing we've learned, it's that her next chapter won't be predictable. It'll be powerful. Her life is a mosaic: art, motherhood, resilience, rebellion. Its soft edges and sharp turns. Its vulnerability wrapped in armor. And through every success and every setback, she's proven that staying true to yourself is the boldest thing an artist can do. As the camera slowly pans out over her Atlanta estate, her studio lights, her daughter's laughter echoing in the background, we're left with one final thought. Teyana Taylor didn't just find her voice. She built an empire around it, and that voice, still rising.